Welcome to IC Yap, Young Adults Podcast.
Hey, welcome to Young Adults Podcast, where we will be talking about mental health's grip on young adults. Almost 50% of young adults report suffering with their mental health. We want to open up the room to talk about what it's like for young adults to live through and live happily with a mental health diagnosis. We want to talk to experts, teens, college students, their doctors, and members in our community to get a better understanding of mental health in young adults. Come join us.
Okay, let's do this.
All right. Hi, guys. My name's Gabi.
Hey, this is Jason. You might know me from last season.
Yeah, me too.
I'm sure you know Gabby.
But we're back for season 2.
Back for season 2.
We're here to talk about some holiday blues today, kind of the highs and lows of the holidays, maybe feeling down.
I'm definitely feeling it.
Yeah, so we can kind of just jump right into it. I mean, the holidays are great for so many reasons, spending time with family and giving each other gifts and all that, but there are a lot of, negative sides to the holidays as well, and that's kind of what we're going to talk about today.
It puts a lot of pressure on people.
For sure. A lot of pressure, financial pressure, pressure to be around people all the time. Yeah, it's a pretty stressful time. How do you normally spend the holidays? Like, what's your holiday routine?
Well, I mean, the past few years I've been locked up, so I haven't done much for the holidays besides pay for stuff for other people to do.
Yeah.
This year I don't really have any money to buy anything for anyone, so it's kind of got me down, Like, that's one of the things we were talking about. That's when we were talking about this podcast, making topics for it. That was my topic that I put in because people with poverty and the holidays, it happens a lot, and it's hard.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's tough when there's this, societal expectation of buying all these gifts for everyone you care about, and, the expectation that, if you care about someone, you have to, get them some, expensive gift or something.
It's ridiculous.
Right. And, that's not what the holidays are about, but that's kind of what the holidays are becoming, which is really sad because, the holidays are just a time to spend time with the people you care about and express that you care about them, but that doesn't mean you have to, buy them some expensive gift. That could be, giving them a hug or, writing a nice card or just, letting them know how much you care about them. Or that could be spending time by yourself, taking care of yourself. It doesn't have to be spent with other people if that's not what brings you joy.
Yeah, I think, I don't know, this holiday is going to be different for me because, like I said, I was locked up for 8 years.
Yeah.
So, really, my family, they're more happy that I'm going to be out and spend time with them, even though, like we were talking about, people feel pressure to get big gifts for people, but that's not what the holiday is actually about. It's about spending time with the people you love.
For sure.
So for everyone out there that's locked up, I mean, unless you have a life sentence, you're going to get out and you're going to be able to spend time with the people you love. It's going to happen for you.
Yeah. So are you spending a lot of time with family this holiday season?
I mean, as much as I can. I'm going to go stay with them for a little while.
That's awesome. But yeah, family time is also complicated in and of itself. Not everyone has, a great relationship with their family. And on top of financial pressure, there's that pressure to spend a lot of time with your family. And, for some people, that's not great for your mental health if there's, family tensions or you don't get along with your family, or maybe your blood family is not who you would designate as your chosen family.
Yeah.
And that's hard to navigate when there is that societal pressure to spend a lot of time with, your immediate family, your parents, your siblings, or whatever. But, you got to take care of yourself. You got to put yourself first, and if your parents or your siblings don't make you feel good about yourself, maybe you should set some boundaries and not spend all of your time with them.
Yeah. There's a lot of people who have a second family.
For sure.
People that aren't necessarily your blood, but you claim them and they they care about you just as much as your your normal family,
Mhm.
you know, your blood family, and that doesn't take anything away from the holidays.
No.
I mean, some people have 2 or more Christmases with
Yeah.
different people.
Mhm.
And, you know, it doesn't have to be directly on the day of the holiday.
Yeah.
You know, like Thanksgiving, you know, my family, they go out on Thanksgiving and bring food to homeless people,
That's
but like
awesome.
they have their celebration on a different day, so they
Mhm.
can do that. So
Yeah.
you know,
That's great.
you can do different things for the holidays, and it can be a meaningful time.
For sure. There's no like rules to the holidays or anything. You can kind of make them whatever you want them to be, whatever works for you and your family and your mental
Yeah.
health.
Mhm.
All right, so yeah, we got financial pressure, we got familial pressure. We also just have like, with winter comes cold weather, dark weather, and that can bring down someone's mental health a great deal.
Yeah.
Having to stay inside all the time, not being able to go outside, feel the sun.
Yeah, I understand that. I used to get really bad winter blues, you know.
Like seasonal depression.
Yeah, well, you know, they're just like it's cold out. You can't go out. Well, you can go outside whenever you want, but it's not gonna feel good, you know.
Yeah.
You trudging through the snow.
Yeah. The first time it snowed like a week ago, I was walking here and I slipped on ice and fell on my butt and it hurt so bad. Luckily no one saw it, so that was really good.
Yeah.
But
You know, the holidays are very different for different age ranges. You know, when you're a kid, the snow is just amazing.
yeah.
Like, you know, you're just experiencing it for not necessarily the first time, but you know, like it just means something different than when you're an adult. When you're an adult, you're like, oh, it's snowing. I'm gonna
Yeah.
have a hard time getting to work. When it snows when you're a kid, you're like, yeah, we're gonna make a snowman. Let's do this.
That was me at age 18 because I grew up in California and I'd never seen snow. I saw it like a couple times my whole life, but yeah, like I'd never lived in snow before. And then moving here at age 18, that was literally me. I was like, oh my god, this is the greatest thing ever. And all my friends who had lived with it their whole lives, they were like, no, snow sucks. Like it's cold. Like this is terrible. Yeah, now I'm kind of maybe there, but
Yeah.
it can be fun. But yeah, it can also suck.
You know, anyone that doesn't have anyone to celebrate the holidays with, that's a hard time for a lot of
Yeah.
people.
Definitely. Back home with my family, we have, my mom has her best friend who lost pretty much all of her immediate family. And so every year she spends the holidays with us. And like we said earlier, like family is what you choose
Yeah.
it to be. Like it doesn't have to be blood relatives,
Mm-hmm.
And the holidays are a time for, taking people in and people who might not have a family or somewhere to go,
Yeah.
Welcoming them into your family.
Oh, one thing I want to do,
Yeah.
I want to shout out the Independence Center right now.
Yes.
Because for all the people that are members here and don't have a family to celebrate with, they can always come into the Independence Center on Christmas or on
Definitely.
Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
New Year's, and it means a lot to them because, like we're talking about, not everyone has family to celebrate with.
For sure. Yep, we're open every holiday. This Thanksgiving was my first time working a holiday, and it was amazing talking to everyone here. And yeah, so many people told me, like, if it wasn't for this, like, I wouldn't have anywhere to go.
Yeah.
And it's really special to have somewhere for all these people to go.
I noticed the turkeys.
Yeah.
Did you see them?
Yes.
Those were not turkeys.
No, they were not turkeys. They were we ordered turkey breast, I think. I don't know.
It's just a big mound of turkey meat.
Yeah, well, people don't have to know that.
Well, now they do.
Uh-oh. We're getting the kitchen staff in trouble.
Yeah, I thought that was funny when I saw it. I was like, what is that, you guys?
Yeah. Not as appetizing when you say it like that. But yes, we're open Christmas, so anyone who's a member is welcome.
Do they let you bring in people like they did on Thanksgiving?
I think so. I think Thanksgiving you're allowed to bring up to two guests.
Up to two.
I believe, yeah. Which is also really great. It's a good time to
do you
spend
know
time
about
with family.
Christmas?
I think so. I think Christmas is the same. I think they're having a meal. I'm not sure exactly what they're eating yet, but it'll be similar to Thanksgiving.
Yeah, they say that Thanksgiving is the big holiday here
Yeah.
because they throw down the most on the meal.
Yeah. But I know they're having a big meal for Christmas too. Not as many people come on Christmas, but it's definitely still a good time. But in talking about food,
Yes.
that is another sometimes
Topic.
hard part about the holidays is that there are a lot of food involved, and for a lot of people who don't have a great relationship with food, it can be a really stressful time.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that like eating disorders are heightened around the holidays just because of that focus on food.
Yes.
I know for me, I had an eating disorder in the past, and when it came to the holidays, going to all these different things and like having all this food and like my
All this
family
pressure.
like making cookies and stuff and everything, and the expectation to relax and enjoy yourself, that was really hard for me because I was already struggling with all of these negative thoughts when it came to food, and then there was all this food in front of me and this pressure to enjoy myself, and that made me feel really stressed and
Yeah.
anxious.
I understand that. I had an eating disorder when I was a teenager. I mean, maybe up until about a year ago, even.
Yeah.
Like, I would eat and I would purge, and it's just, food is like, everyone has to eat.
Yeah.
Everyone gets a craving to eat, but
Mhm.
like, not everyone feels good about it.
Yeah.
I don't know what really caused it. I guess it's just the societal standards in America that do it.
Yeah.
Like, and it's like you said, it's worse around the holiday time because everyone expects you to eat all this food.
Yeah.
And I get self-conscious just eating a chocolate bar.
Yeah, me too, for sure. And it's hard, like, when there's that idea around the holidays, like, oh, like, this is the time to, like, enjoy yourself and you don't have to worry about it. But, like, for some reason that makes me just worry about it more. And that's hard. But, again, you gotta take care of yourself first. Set some boundaries, even when it comes to food. Like, yes, you gotta enjoy yourself and make yourself feel good, but, you don't have to eat all the food just because people are telling you to eat all the food.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of what you were just saying, setting boundaries.
Yeah.
Um,
Definitely important to set some boundaries around the holidays, especially like some personal boundaries to try to like combat those societal expectations.
yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of societal expectations, and we've already talked about finances, and
But yeah, you could try to sometimes like when my family has a harder year and we were not able to go crazy on gifts, we say, okay, we're gonna get like one thing for each person, even if it's like something small. And what I like to do is, instead of like, I don't know, going on Amazon and just like searching like gifts for dad, like so I'll try to like, wander into like a random bookstore or like a record store because he likes music and just like pick out something that like reminds me of him.
yeah. That's
And
cool.
even if it's not that expensive, like I saw it and I thought of him, and I know that he'll appreciate that, even if it's not super expensive. So that's what I try to do when I'm struggling financially.
Shout out. Let's see if my mom listens to this before Christmas. I bought her a crystal, like a big piece of quartz crystal.
Yeah?
I bet she doesn't listen to it. I bet she doesn't know what I'm going to get her.
I guess we'll see. That's awesome. Yeah. I mean, sometimes gifts like that are so much better than, I don't know, whatever you search on Amazon. Gifts
Yeah, it was
mom
only.
or-
I mean, actually, those crystals can be very expensive. Mine wasn't, but
Yeah.
I don't care if people know that I didn't spend a lot on them.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a big
It's-
deal. It's a thought.
It's the thought, exactly. It's just showing that you care. That means so much more than how much money you spent. Because everyone has a different amount of money, so
and
it doesn't
and
even
also, you might spend $1,000 on something that they don't want.
matter. Exactly.
And then they'll be
yes.
disappointed even if no matter how
Right.
much money you spend.
And on the flip side, like if someone gets me something really expensive that like I don't really care about, I feel awful about it because then they spent all this money on something that I didn't even want.
Mhm.
So I feel like it's always better to go small and meaningful rather than
Yeah.
big and expensive. And yeah, there's that pressure too, like the pressure to like have some grand reaction when you get a gift. That can be that stresses me out so much when I get something that like isn't that great. I'm like, wow, thanks guys.
This is amazing.
Yeah, that can be hard too, navigating all that pressure to try to like make someone feel good for like doing something that was already expected. Like, it's weird. There's a lot of weird societal standards around the holidays.
You're right.
What are some other boundaries?
Greeting people, you know. A lot of people like to be hugged when they're met. And, I mean, all the people that are in my family, I'm fine with hugging, but I know there's a lot of people that aren't okay with it.
Yeah.
I do not want to hug a random stranger.
For sure, me neither.
It just, I don't even want somebody to rub against me, like, when we're walking. Like, I hate it.
You don't know where they've been.
Well, like, even if their elbow just brushes me in the hall, like...
Yeah, it's uncomfortable.
It's just...
For sure. You gotta be mindful of the amount of space you're taking up. And, yeah, when you're greeting someone, the holidays or not, what I always do if I am thinking about giving someone a hug, I'm like, oh, can I hug you? And if they say no, I don't get offended, because some people don't like to be hugged, and that's fine. I have a close friend who hates hugs, and that doesn't mean she doesn't like me. That just means she doesn't want to be hugged.
Yeah.
That's fine. But yeah, you gotta set some boundaries for yourself and what you're comfortable with.
Yeah, I used to hug the people I liked until this one time there was this girl I liked, and I hugged her without asking her, and she was just absolutely repulsed.
Oh, no.
And I felt so bad, like... And
That's
I quit doing that
worst.
completely. Like, you need to know if someone's okay with it before you hug someone, because like it might make you feel bad, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
And if you don't want to do that. People, listen to me.
Yeah, don't hug people without asking for consent. Anyway, let's see what else. Oh yeah, being mindful of your own social battery, that's a big one.
Yeah, it is.
You know, some people can't spend hours with other people, and that's fine, especially family. Like, I normally don't have a social battery when it comes to friends, but family, I definitely do. Not anything wrong with my family. It's just there's a certain amount of time that I can spend with them before, like, feeling like I'm going to lose my mind.
Yeah.
And that's fine. So, you know, you can set some boundaries for yourself, especially as an adult. Like, I'm getting more and more comfortable being like, okay, we're going to go to dinner, we're maybe going to watch a movie together, but after, like, 10 p.m., I'm going to go in my room and, like, read a book, because I can't spend all night with my family sometimes, and that's okay. So you just got to, like, be honest with yourself, and then be honest with your family or whoever it is, too, because they can't read your mind. So try to communicate as best as you can.
I have a problem with communication. I am not good at it.
Because I always feel like I'm going to make people feel bad. It's hard.
It is.
It's really hard.
Like, exactly. You're scared you're gonna make people feel bad, and sometimes it makes them feel worse.
Yeah.
Like inadvertently hurting someone happens a lot, and communication I really think is the best way to get around that.
For sure.
Because like it might hurt for a minute, but once you get your point out and you know their perspective, you know, it's gonna hopefully it'll resolve the situation.
For sure. Yeah, it's always better to talk about it. 'Cause, like, I mean, in my example, if, like, I all of a sudden just, like, got up and went to my room and closed the door, like, maybe my family would think that I was, like, mad at them, or, like, maybe they would then get mad at me, and then that would cause a whole fight or whatever. But, like, if I just said, like, hey, I just need to be by myself for a little bit, they'd probably be like, okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
And that can be hard, standing up for yourself, but
Yes.
normally that's the best way to ease all tension. And because then if you end up getting into an argument with your family, that's just going to ruin the next couple days, or even that's just going to cause more stress for you and others. So it's always better to try to communicate how you're feeling. And with that being said, sometimes there are family members and friends who just cause you stress no matter what.
Yes.
I know I have family members who just, all they do is stress me out. And it's hard because there is that expectation to be a family around the holidays and to spend time with everyone. But, I don't know, as best as you can, try to take care of yourself, and maybe, you know, you can greet them, but keep your distance from people who cause you stress.
Right. And really, the dynamic of these relationships change as time goes on.
For sure.
Like when I was a kid, there was one member of my family. I was scared of her, but like not in like a fear, like she was gonna beat me sort of way. Like she could be really mean and say mean things, and like I didn't want to, like I didn't like being around her that much.
Yeah.
But as time went on, like she's changed, I've changed, we've developed in different ways, and now I really care about her. I cared about her then, but she doesn't give me that vibe anymore, and like it's just things change. If you're listening to this and you have a family member that you don't like, and they might turn out to be totally different in your adult life from your childhood.
For sure.
So don't just discount your family just because
Family's complicated, and you could like perceive a family member a certain way, but unfortunately they are family, which means they will be related to you forever. And while you don't have to have a relationship with them, sometimes maybe communication could mend some wounds.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's all changing and evolving with time.
Yep.
But for some people there are family members who you're just never going to get along with, and that's okay.
Well, that's understandable.
Yeah. Sometimes you have to distance yourself from the people who cause you harm.
Yeah.
And that's important to set those boundaries.
Yes.
But yeah, all of this being said, you gotta practice some self-care and take care of yourself during the holidays and all the time, but especially during this slightly more stressful time.
A lot of people discount this, but like setting a schedule, like whether or not it's the holidays or not, like your schedule, like before I set a schedule for myself, I would lay around and I'd be sad, and I would try to get things done, or I would try to watch TV, or I would just do things whenever, and like it wore me out. But like setting a schedule, like a time you get up, and that doesn't mean it has to be completely strict.
Yeah.
But like doing things at certain times, like it does make a difference. We're all creatures of habit.
For sure. Yeah, I totally agree. This year, I'm going to go home to California to be with my family for a week, and my mom is trying to, like, fit so much stuff into that 1 week, because I haven't been home since June, which I understand. She wants to do lots of things, lots of family time, and I'm also trying to see all my, hometown friends and everything, and it's starting to really stress me out, because, there's only so much I can do in, like, 7 days.
Exactly.
But yeah, like Jason said, I'm trying to, like, set a schedule and like look at all the things I'm doing and then all the free time I have to make myself feel better. Like, yeah, it's a lot, but I am gonna set aside some time to do things that I enjoy, and be by myself and have time to read or listen to music or exercise or whatever will relieve my stress at the time. And putting it all on a calendar and like setting it all out in front of you sometimes helps to de-stress.
Sometimes people kind of, not everyone, but sometimes people forget that they still have to cope with their mental illness over the holidays.
Definitely.
Because, it can get so much worse. Like, whenever, sleeping a lot, it stresses me out. But, like, a lot of people that are just getting with their mental illness, like they just start treatment, they might not know what to do with themselves, and so they just sleep, and like once the holidays come around, like that's something that they just do. I mean, it's actually really hard to talk about stuff that bothers you. And I know that sleep really bothers me. I used to do it constantly, and once I thought about what I was doing, like I wanted to change it. When I was in the peer specialist course, the trainer she was talking about how during the winter season, no, she was just talking about like how when her mental illness first started and she felt defeated by it, she just slept, and if she couldn't sleep, then like she would just sit there and be sad.
Yeah.
I don't know how to put that into words.
No, that makes sense. You know, especially during the holidays when stress is heightened, sometimes your coping mechanism is just to sleep or to lay in bed. So you try to like relinquish some of that control because, you know, when you're sleeping, that's all you're doing. You're laying in bed. You're not doing anything. And like that's a lot of people's coping mechanism. Because it feels like maybe you can like cause less harm that way, but on the other hand, then you start thinking about like maybe all the things that you should be doing or like how you're, you know, wasting time. That's for me, like I've had a big problem with sleep because like laying in bed, I have all of these thoughts of like, oh my god, I'm being so unproductive, like I should be doing all these things, I'm wasting time, like
I have the exact same thing.
It's really stressful.
But like when you're doing it, like the act of doing it consumes you.
Yes.
Like you just feel like you want to lay there, even though you're thinking this stuff like I want to get up and do this.
Yeah.
But like, it's just, I don't know. It eats you.
For sure. Yeah, it can be debilitating, and sometimes you're literally unable to move. I haven't really figured out how to help that. I don't know.
I just I mean that goes towards setting a schedule too.
Yeah.
But really, on the weekends, I still have a problem with it.
For sure. Yeah, me too.
This you know, anyone out there that's in recovery, know that even the people that are in recovery or, you know, trying to keep up with themselves, we still have problems. No one's perfect.
No.
You know, don't think that just because, you know, we're the ones behind the microphone talking in this podcast doesn't mean that we're not coping with stress.
For sure.
You know, this is life, and life moves on whether or not you want it to or not.
Definitely. That was deep. But yeah, it's very true. Unfortunately, we cannot stop time. So it's just how we spend that time is our only control.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I guess what I've done kind of to help that, you know, anxiety when it comes to sleep and relaxing and stuff is to, you know, fill my days with things that I think are meaningful up until, you know, sleeping or laying in bed. So I can, like, when I start to have those thoughts, I can be like, no, like, these are the things I did today.
Yes.
This is how I took care of myself. This is how I'm choosing to spend my life. And sometimes that's able to, like, relax me and be like, okay, it's fine that I'm resting. It's okay to relax.
That's good.
But yeah, you gotta find the methods of self-care that work for you, you know, whether that's exercising or listening to music or sleeping or cleaning or anything that makes you feel better, you gotta make time for it.
Yeah, it's always good to feel productive. Like, everyone's to feel like they're doing something with themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if not, then, you know, like, when I don't feel productive, I just think, you know, what's the point of doing this? And it gets to the point where I think, what's the point of being alive?
Right.
And, you know, you don't want to make it to that point where you feel like that.
Definitely.
And if that does happen, if you do get to that point, you might want to set up an extra support, you know, like seeing your doctor or talking to your therapist, or really even just talking to someone that you trust.
Yeah. For sure, yeah. A lot of my anxiety stems from, you know, feeling unproductive and, like, wasting time or wasting my life. And, you know, getting to that point sucks. So, yeah, like Jason said, you gotta try to fill your days with something meaningful and something. It doesn't have to be something, like, crazy or, like, you don't have to make any, like, career jump in the span of a day or a week or anything, but just little things that make you feel like your life has meaning are really important. And, yeah, even if that's spending time with friends and strengthening bonds, like, that's important too, and that's meaningful, because what is life if not for relationships and making other people happy?
You know, what you just said about the little things, I think that's something that people forget about a lot. Even me, Like I take these classes online, not like college classes, but I think I'll do a few quizzes or whatever, and it won't register to me that I'm getting something done. I'll think, I want to get this whole section done.
Mm-hmm.
But really, that happens by doing each step.
Yeah.
You have to acknowledge that, you're making it through these steps,
Mm-hmm.
It's not just the end. Recovery is not the end goal. It's the journey that you take for your whole life. There is no end to recovery. You don't just like get a job and you say, okay, I'm recovered and I'm going to be recovered forever now, because you're going to have problems everywhere you go. And if you don't acknowledge the small things that you're going through, then you might have a hard time.
Definitely. Yeah. Gotta go easy on yourself and recognize
What you've done.
Yeah, the little victories, no matter how small. It's all important. All right.
Think that we did good enough?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we hope that everyone has a low stress holiday season, but if you don't, that's okay. Just try to, take care of yourself as best as you can.
Yeah. I hope you guys have a good holiday season, and you can hear from me next time I come to the podcast. I'll probably do another dual diagnosis this season.
Nice.
The last one kind of got more distracted on what was it? Risk reduction.
Okay.
And that's only one small part of dual diagnosis, so
You'll be hearing from Jason again.
you'll hear from me.
I'll be
I've been kind of getting out of